It's very concerning. I think it's an area that a lot of people don't really pay attention to much, but it's something that you should really keep your eyes open on and know about the different heavy metals that are out there and what's harmful and what's okay and what levels are harmful and what levels are okay and so on and so forth. Can you talk to us about kind of your knowledge about heavy metals and things that people should kind of look out for?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you do want to limit your consumption or exposure to heavy metal toxicity. And eating it is bad when it's accumulated into other plant tissues. It's bad because a lot of the times it's in a form that we can assimilate. One kind of weird unknown aspect of a lot of heavy metal stuff, though, is that if you get a really good plot of soil and you do a soil sample, I mean, you'll find nickel, you'll find arsenic, you'll find a little bit of lead here and there. But a lot of the times, that's like a full digestion elemental analysis. So they're there. But the other question is, are these plant available? And oftentimes they're not. So in good organic plots, sometimes you find a little bit of heavy metal, but it doesn't really get taken up by the plant. So the most important things to know is like what the heavy metals are in whatever you're growing in, how well or poorly does the crop that you want to grow accumulate those heavy metals, and then the last thing, of course, would be like what those heavy metals do to the actual product and the users of that product. Like with things like smoking products like tobacco, it's really bad to have things like arsenic, cadmium, because they vaporize and you inhale them. They're carcinogenic. With certain things like rice that accumulates a lot of arsenic, you can do certain things like you polish it, you make white rice, and the arsenic, whoop, it's basically gone because most of the arsenic's in the bran. So again, like heavy metals, you are trying to reduce your consumption of them, but they're part of this world, so you can't just exclude them. It's really about knowing how much heavy metal I have, what's the the ability of my crop to absorb that heavy metal, and then what's the consequences to the end user when this product has the heavy metal in there. For a lot of the food crops and stuff, all of those things are established. For newer crops and smoking crops, it's kind of harder because there's a little bit less regulation or a little bit less insight, less research done. And but the general rule of thumb is like you just don't want any of that at really detectable levels in your plant material. If it's for things like smoking consumption, or say you're just making tinctures, things like that, alcohol tinctures or glycerin tinctures can pull some of that stuff out too. So when it comes to heavy metals, I wouldn't freak out about it. It's just one of those things that you have to do your due diligence on. Again, know your sources, make sure that they have COAs, maybe shoot them an email and go like, hey, how up to date is this? A lot of the times these companies won't lie to you, and if you request something new, they'll probably get it to you. It's on you as a grower a lot of the times, unfortunately. But they're bad, but I don't think people should absolutely immediately freak out when they see it. You have to kind of investigate what that heavy metal is, how available, and how dangerous it actually is to your cultivation.
I think a lot of these fertilizer companies, credible ones, I guess we should say, do have heavy metal tests that they do on their fertilizer, like fertilizer blends, like Stash Blend is something I'm thinking of right away, right? We did heavy metal testing on it, and we actually have the metal test results on the listing. So when people go to Grower's House and they search Stash Blend or Stash Nutrients, when they scroll down, they'll see heavy metal testing. They can click on it, PDF pops up, and they're able to actually see the results there. I think a lot of companies do that, but yeah, you definitely have to pay attention to the companies that don't do that, because hey, they might have completely skipped that. I don't think that's a requirement, right? Is that even a requirement? Can you just
it's
release?
Not. No, yeah, it's not. You don't have to do it,
Yeah,
but it's one of those things where everyone kind of demands it, so
yeah.
most people do. Also, one thing to note: check the date on those COAs, because a COA from 10 years ago to me means nothing. You know what I mean? 10 years is a long time. Sources change all the time in the international commodities space, so check the date of your COAs, and if it's over 10 years old, maybe ask for a new one. Over 7 or so ask for a new one.
This clip is brought to you by VivoSun. Use discount code MrGrow15 to save on any of their gardening products. Go to the full episode by clicking the outro card here, or click the link in the description section below. Catch you in the next video.